8 minutes, 18 seconds. Enjoy this. Suck this in, folks. I think it's good to hear. It's an awesome option. I don't know if anybody gonna take it, but it's an awesome option. Just pay attention, please. And I'll be back in a little more than 8 minutes and 20 seconds.
Lies, lies, lies. It's all lies. Africa is hungry. Lies. Africa is poor. Lies. Africa is diseased. Lies. Africa is dying. Lies. Africa is a continent torn and ravaged by war. Lies. Black people, in order for you to go to the African continent from Europe, from the Caribbean, from the United States, you need to get some kind of special medication and to some kind of shots, administered to you. Lies. But what is the real story behind all this nonsense, this stupidity that the white man is putting in the mind of our black brothers and sisters? They know that the single biggest threat to America and to Europe is not North Korea. It is not Russia. It is not China. It is the unification of the African continent, the reconciliation of the continental Africans with their brothers and sisters that were taken under slavery, with the African diaspora in the Middle East, in Australia, in Canada, in the Caribbean, in Europe, and in the United States of America. That is the single biggest threat right now to the global balance of power. Because they know that once we are reconciled, once the sons and daughters home and abroad of Africa are reconciled, there is going to be a lot of value that is going to be added to the continent. Okay, if Africa is hungry, poor, diseased, dying, hopeless, torn by war, ravaged by conflict, dictators all over, corruption, why are they still here? Ask yourself this question. Why is it that in the midst of all this rhetoric, this nonsense, this retarded misinformation, why do they keep coming by the hundreds of thousands? It is estimated that there are more than 10 million Chinese on the African continent. Europeans, countless. American corporations doing business here, countless. They will not leave the continent. The same continent they say that is diseased, hopeless, dying, and ravaged by war, torn by conflict, full of dictators and all manner of things. Why will they not leave? Why don't they leave us to die in our poverty? Because they know that the more they keep pushing out that rhetoric, they're using it as a psychological deterrent to the black brothers and sisters that want to come home. They are mistreating them abroad. They are killing them even when they are unarmed. And there is no justice that is served for them. Why? Because the system says that the black person, it is even in the American Constitution that the black people are 3/5 of a human being. That means that monkeys are better than them. That means that gorillas are better than them. It is in your constitution, you Americans. So now they are being mistreated there because they no longer want them, and they know that there isn't a clear setup of some kind of political voice to speak out for them, like the Asians have, like the Indians have, like the Arabs have, like the Hispanics have, like the Jews have, and they're taking advantage of that. And they want to come back to the continent. They want to relocate. They want to invest here. And they tell him, no, you can't go to Africa. They have painted this picture of a big jungle out of Africa. When our black brothers and sisters think of coming here, they think of, malaria, Ebola, HIV, all these stupid things that they have injected, and they're poisoning their minds, deterring them from coming back. I am here to tell you that your continent is the global treasury of natural resources and mineral wealth. We have got the most fertile land. We've got the best people you can ever meet, the warmest people you can ever meet. We've got the best resources. So now, how does a person that benefits off of stealing those resources tell you who is the rightful owner of whatever is under the soil of the African continent? How do they tell you that you cannot come here because it is a jungle, you will get malaria, they throw in your faces all these twisted these twisted statistics of deaths and all these kinds of things. I'm here to unravel the lies that have been told to you. Your mother Africa is an continent that is crying out for the return of her sons and daughters that were shipped abroad, for the return of her daughters and sons, for the reconciliation and the unification of the continental Africans with the African diaspora. Your mother Africa is waiting with open arms. So do not believe the lies that you're hearing and watching on CNN and BBC, because they are the very people that are stealing the resources of this continent. And they don't care if they have to start up civil war. A few million dead in Africa does not mean anything to them, as long as they get what they want, as long as they exploit the land, as long as they steal these things and make sure that dictators stay in power, as long as they advance their agendas. And if you refuse to advance the agenda, they will get rid of you. They will support a certain faction of the army, and they will create coups. We know about the coups in, more than the 60 or so coups in Africa. All of them have been engineered by the West. So I tell you, our brothers and sisters, time to think Africa. Here you are loved. Here is your home. Here you are welcome. Here you are the majority. Think of investing in Africa. Think of relocating in Africa. Begin to draw up a plan, because without a plan, you will not relocate successfully. You need a plan first and foremost. And we shall be talking about these things, the steps that we are taking on this side to, to make it, to build the bridges in terms of securing citizenships and, helping you identify, investment opportunities and helping you relocate. That we are doing very, very, very aggressively. And we are getting very good feedback from the governments that we have reached out to so far. And so I'll share in detail once I have all the details. But for now, don't believe the lies that you see on TV. They're trying to stop you from coming here so that you can witness the looting. They know that once we are reconciled, their empires are going to start falling face first to the ground. I am telling you. And it is inevitable. It is going to happen in my lifetime. They know that they don't want. Can you imagine all the value that, they are African Americans, the Africans in America, give to the American people, the American continent, the American establishment. If all that value is shifted here, all the value that they give in the Caribbeans and in Europe, if they brought that value here, do you think the white people will have any room to exploit us and call us monkeys at the same time and kill our people? I don't think so. That is the fear that they have. They are just paranoid beings trying, I call them, these are kicks of a dying horse, and the horse must fall. I'm telling you. So I don't know. What plans do you have for Africa post this China virus? Start planning. Prepare yourself emotionally. Prepare yourself psychologically to face your heritage, to face your roots, to embrace your history, such that together we can revitalize our great ancient success. Thank you for watching. Leave me your comments below.
Welcome back to Build and Destroy. I am H-Rap-B. This is Built for This Network. Thank you for tuning in once again. I don't know how you received that, but it made me feel good. I've been having that argument with friends and family members for years, saying it's propaganda. And every time I meet someone from the continent, they tell me exactly what that man has told me. This isn't a new thing. It's just people are finally starting to wake up. The reason I played that is because I'm going into the same direction. It's really what I started the show with. But the funny thing about this corona thing is this. This coronavirus has shaken up the entire world. But one thing I've noticed throughout the entire world is it is not ravaging the great continent as much as you would think. We've been watching the news, or I've been watching the news, and I've been seeing people in China start to blame brothers and sisters for the coronavirus. Yeah. And they put out this propaganda that Chinese government said, we're going to send y'all over doctors. They sent them to Nigeria. And the people who were sent over, it was recently found out that these people do not have credentials to be physicians. And now no one can find them in the country. These are the types of tricks that are being played on us too, as he stated. Continue to create deception and dissension amongst our communities. Look, if you are looking for some foolishness in regards to all people that look like us gonna get along, I need you to log out now, because this is not a damn Disney movie. This is real life. There were wars on the great continent before, after, and currently. There is no peace on earth. All people don't get along under any circumstances. Ask the Germans, ask the Spaniards, ask the Greeks, ask the Italians. They all have wars. Ask the Celts. People war. People look like each other. They war. This is the fact of the world. But as he stated, and I'm stating, it might be a little better, to deal with you once you got your ass kicked by everybody else, and you realize we all we got. And if we are such bad people as he stated, why is it that we are under attack? And why is it that the propaganda is out there that we hate them and they hate us and they're better than me? I'll tell you one thing. All the Nigerians that I know, they do think they're better than you. But they think they're better than everybody that walks the face of the earth. And they encourage you to have the same mentality. See, that's only half the story. Oh, they think they're better than you. They think they're better than everybody that ain't a Nigerian. It ain't you. It's the rest of the world. And again, they say, hey, you should feel the same way. So if you feel like you're greater than everybody in the world, you will attempt to live up to that. And if you live up to that, guess what happens? You mess around and beat that most people. And they're not saying that you're trash. They're just saying, whatever you do, I can do it better. And when in the history of the earth has that been a problem? Another thing he touched on is us being attacked. See, a lot of people talk about the young man in Georgia who got attacked by the two Klansmen. I'm going to call them Klansmen. Nobody else calls them Klansmen. I don't even know if they're Klansmen. That's how they identify. The two lynchers. Let's do it that way. The two dudes who lynched him, shot him on the side of the road. But what about Breonna Taylor? See, we're not paying. See, there's so many chaotic things happening in our community. We can damn near not even keep up with. But let's not forget about our young sister, Breonna Taylor. If you're not familiar with Breonna Taylor, this is the young lady who, I think it was Louisville's police department, Louisville, Kentucky police department, had a no-knock warrant, came into our house. Her boyfriend jumped up, shot one of the officers, and they shot her 4 times while she was laying in the bed, kind of like on the Fred Hampton side of the game. Right? Now, get this. Her boyfriend, by the name of Kenneth Walker, he's being charged with attempt murder because he shot a police officer in his house on a no-knock warrant. Look, this is a warrant that was being executed in the middle of the night. I think it was like 12:30 a.m. If you have a weapon in your house, they're not charging him with illegal possession of a firearm. They're charging him with attempt murder. Everybody in the world with a firearm in their house, and if you see somebody in your house with a no-knock warrant, they walked in, they didn't bam, 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 and knock the door down and start hollering out, police, police, police. They walked in these people's house silently to execute this warrant that just happened to be for a person that they had in custody. And then he shot one of them, wounded him. He's going to be okay, from what I understand from what I'm reading. But now they want to charge him with attempt murder, and the stupid ass mayor, Greg Fisher, he up with it, man. And what I'm going to do in regards to this case, I'm going to do what they do all the time. I just happen to know that these are the 3 officers that were involved. One of them name is Greg Fisher. No, not. One of them name is Mattingly, Officer Mattingly. Back in 2008, he was being sued for excessive force, stalking a man in regards to just assuming that he was a drug dealer. And to come to find out, this brother was going to his mama's house, and it was no drug dealing. In fact,